1. Introduction. My name is Leela. My father left when I was 10 years old. I remember that day very well, even now. It was a clear day, but my mother cried many tears. I held my father's hand tightly. I begged him with all my heart not to go away, but he did not listen to me. He walked out of our front door. After that day, he never came back home. For many years, I carried a deep pain inside me because of this. My mother raised me alone, working very hard. I promised myself that I would never forgive my father for leaving us. Now I am 18 years old. I have grown up, but the wound from his leaving is still there in my heart. One day, I received a message on my phone. It was from him, my father. He wanted to see me after all this time. At first, I felt a strong anger. Why was he contacting me now? Why after so many years of silence? I truly did not want to meet him. I did not want to open that door to old feelings again. But a very small part of me felt curious. That is how this new part of my story begins. I live in a small town where everyone knows each other. I often walk down the quiet streets. People know me as the girl who grew up without a father. My mother works very hard every day. She has a job in the local bakery, making bread and cakes. I help her there after my school day finishes. My life is often simple and quiet, but my heart feels heavy inside. Every time I see other girls laughing and talking with their fathers, I feel a deep, empty hole inside me. My mother always tells me to be strong and to move forward, but I can see the sadness in her eyes when she is alone. She misses him too, even if she never speaks about it. One evening, my phone rang loudly. The number on the screen was completely unknown to me. I felt a strange feeling, but I answered the call. It was him. It was my father. His voice sounded older and deeper than I remembered. It also sounded very tired. He said, "Leela, it's me, your father. I want to see you." My hand began to shake very badly. I could not think clearly. Without saying anything, I quickly ended the call. This unexpected phone call left me feeling very shaken and uncertain about what to do next. It brought back many difficult memories. 2. A hard time. After the phone call, Leela tried to forget. She wanted to push his voice away, but it was hard. The past came back often, like a dark cloud in her mind. She felt angry and confused. Why did he call now, after so many years? She thought about him every day. It was a heavy weight on her heart. She tried to focus on schoolwork, on helping her mother, but his call stayed with her. It was a ghost from a time she wanted to forget. She felt a deep sadness inside her that she could not shake. At school, Leela sat next to Daniel. He was a kind boy in her class. He often made jokes and smiled, making others laugh. One day, Daniel saw Leela was quiet and not smiling. "Are you okay, Leela?" he asked with a gentle voice. "You look sad." Leela shook her head. "I'm fine," she said quickly, looking away. But she was not fine. Her heart felt very heavy. She wanted to tell Daniel everything about the call about her father, but she could not. She kept her feelings inside, a secret. Her father's old betrayal made it hard to trust people. She was especially careful with boys. She was afraid of getting hurt again, like before. One evening, Leela heard her mother speaking quietly on the phone from the kitchen. Her mother's voice was low, almost a whisper. Leela stopped walking and listened closely. She heard her mother say, "Yes, I know you want to meet her, but she is not ready." Leela's hands became tight. She knew exactly who her mother was talking to. It was him, her father. He was talking to her mother, her own mother, behind her back. A big wave of anger came over Leila, hot and strong. She felt a new betrayal. Her mother had hidden this from her. Leela walked quickly into the kitchen. Her mother quickly put down the phone, her face looking worried and sad. "Who was that?" Leela asked, her voice sharp and loud. Her mother looked away, her eyes full of tears. "It was your father, Leela," she said softly. "He called. He still wants to see you." Leela felt a hot fire inside her. A deep anger rose. Her own mother, talking to the man who had caused them so much pain. "How could you?" she shouted, her voice shaking with strong feeling. "Don't you dare talk to him again. He left us. He hurt us for so many years. You should not help him." Her mother's eyes filled with more tears. "He is still your father, Leela," she said quietly, trying to explain. "He has a right to." But Leela did not want to hear any more words, any more excuses. "No," she yelled, cutting her mother off. "He lost that right a long time ago. He means nothing to me. He is a stranger." She turned quickly and ran to her room, her heart pounding fast. She closed the door with a loud bang. The sound was very loud in the small house, like her anger. Leela felt completely alone now and deeply hurt. Her mother, who was always strong for her, had also gone against her, in Leela's mind. She felt a deep, cold betrayal from both of them, her father and her mother. This new pain only made her decision stronger. She would never let her father back into her life. She would keep him out forever, no matter what. His attempts to reconnect were just more pain. She would not allow it. 3. A letter. The next week, something new happened. A letter came for me. It was not an email or a text message. It was a real letter written by hand. No one writes letters anymore, but my father did. I felt surprised. Why a letter? Why not another phone call? I looked at the envelope. My name was on it, written in handwriting I did not know. My hands felt a little shaky as I opened it. Inside, there was one sheet of paper. His handwriting was messy and looked a little shaky. It was hard to read some of the words. I started to read it slowly, feeling many emotions at once. The letter was from him. He wrote about the years he had been away. He said he was sorry for not being there. He wrote that he often thought of me, especially on my birthday. He remembered when I turned 11, then 12, and so on. He wrote that he knew he made many big mistakes. He knew he had hurt me and my mother a lot. He said he felt very sad about this every day. He wished he could change the past, but he knew he could not. Then his words became more urgent. He wrote that he wanted to see me. He said it was important. He wanted to meet me one time just to talk. He wrote, "I want to see you before it is too late." This phrase made me stop reading. Before it is too late. What did that mean? Was he sick? Was something wrong? A small, new feeling grew inside me. It was not anger, not sadness, but a little bit of curiosity. I did not want to feel it, but it was there. My first thought was anger again. How dare he write this? After all these years, he just sends a letter. I stood up quickly. I took the letter in my hands. I tore the paper into many small pieces. Then I walked to the kitchen and threw the pieces into the trash can. I don't need this, I thought. I don't need him. I tried to forget about the letter and his words. I tried to push him out of my mind, just like I had done for many years. But later that evening, I could not stop thinking about it. The words "before it is too late" kept coming back to me. I went back to the kitchen. I looked into the trash can. The torn pieces of paper were there. Slowly, carefully, I took them out. I placed them on the table. I tried to put them back together like a puzzle. I read his words again, piece by piece. My chest felt tight and my heart beat faster. I did not know what to do. My anger was still strong, but that small curiosity was also growing. I wanted answers. Some advice. Leela was upset again. Daniel, her classmate, saw it in her eyes. She had been quiet for many days since her father's letter arrived. This time, she felt she could not keep her pain inside. During lunch, when they were alone, she finally told him. Her voice was low. She explained how her father left when she was 10, and now he wanted to meet her. Daniel listened carefully, his face serious. He did not say much at first. He just let her speak all her anger and sadness. When she finished, Daniel looked at her with kind eyes. "Layla," he said softly, "I understand you are very angry. Your feelings are important. But maybe you should go. Maybe you need to meet him, not for him, but for you. You can tell him everything you feel. You can tell him how much he hurt you. This could help you to let go of some of that pain." Leela felt a fire in her heart. "You don't understand," she said quickly. "He destroyed us. He broke our family. Why should I give him any more of my time?" But Daniel's words stayed with her. They made a small space in her thoughts, a new idea. That evening, Leela's mother sat with her at the kitchen table. The house was quiet. Her mother looked at Leela with understanding. She took Leela's hand gently. "Leela," she began, her voice calm, "I know you are very angry with your father. For many years, I hated him too. I felt so much pain and anger after he left, but I also loved him once. People are not simple, my dear. Life is not always black and white. Her mother continued, "Your father was weak then, and he made a big mistake. He hurt us deeply. But maybe, just maybe, you need to hear his truth. You need to hear his side of the story. Sometimes, when you hear everything, you can understand better. It does not mean you have to forgive him right away. It just means you listen." Layla did not answer her mother. She looked down at her hands. She still felt the anger, strong and clear. But the words from Daniel and now from her mother were like tiny drops of water on a hard stone. They slowly, slowly began to plant a seed of doubt in her hardened heart. She started to think, just a little, about what they had said. 5. The first meeting. After much thought, Leela finally agreed to meet her father. The idea filled her with a mix of fear and a strange kind of hope. She chose a small, quiet cafe on the edge of town, a place where she felt she could control the situation. The day of the meeting arrived, and Leela's hands felt cold, even though the weather was mild. Her heart beat fast in her chest, a nervous drum against her ribs. She took a deep breath and pushed open the cafe door. Inside, she looked for him. Then she saw him sitting alone at a table by the window. He was older than she remembered, much older. His hair was mostly gray, and his face looked thin and tired. He seemed smaller, less strong than the man in her childhood memories. For a moment, she almost did not recognize him. He stood up slowly when he saw her. Leela did not move to hug him. Instead, she walked to the table and sat down in the chair opposite him. A heavy silence filled the space between them. His eyes were sad. "Leela," he said, his voice soft and shaky. "You are so beautiful. You look just like your mother." His words seemed to catch in his throat, and his voice broke a little. Leela did not smile. She kept her eyes fixed on his, trying to read something in them. She felt a coldness inside her. This was the moment she had waited for, the moment to ask. "Why did you leave us?" she asked, her voice steady but firm. The question hung in the air. He lowered his head, not looking at her. He took a slow breath. "I was a coward, Leela," he finally said. "I made a terrible mistake. I thought I could find happiness somewhere else, away from my responsibilities. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. I lost everything when I left you and your mother. I have lived with that regret every single day." His words were quiet, full of pain. Leela listened to him speak. Her hands were shaking slightly under the table, but she kept her face still. A storm of emotions moved inside her: anger, sadness, confusion, and a strange sense of emptiness. She wanted to shout, to cry, to demand more answers. But she just sat there, listening. His words spoke of deep regret, but they did not erase the 10 years of absence. She felt the pain he had caused, fresh again. She did not offer him any sign of forgiveness. Not now, maybe not ever. The meeting was tense, full of unspoken feelings and a long, difficult past. There was no easy way forward. 6 more meetings. I met my father again many times in the quiet cafe. Each visit was a struggle inside me. A part of me wanted to hold onto my anger, to remember every bit of the pain he caused. But another part, a smaller one, watched him closely, listening to his soft words. He shared stories of his life after he left, tales of hard times and lonely days. He spoke about his many mistakes, his bad choices, and the deep regrets he carried. His voice was often quiet, sometimes shaking, full of sadness that seemed to weigh heavily on him. Sometimes I felt a strong urge to shout at him. I wanted to ask him why he thought his own happiness was more important than his family. But then I looked into his tired eyes. I saw a deep, real pain there, a sadness that was not just for me, but also for himself and the life he had lost. This sight made my feelings even more confusing. It became harder to keep my anger strong when I saw how much he truly regretted his past. During these weeks, my friendship with Daniel grew much stronger. He was always kind and patient. After school, we often walked home together, sometimes talking, sometimes just enjoying the quiet. His steady presence was a great comfort to me. He seemed to understand that I was going through a very difficult time, even when I did not say many words. He never pushed me to talk, but he was always simply there. One sunny afternoon, as we walked along the main street, Daniel gently took my hand. It was a simple action, but it felt very important to me. It was the first time I allowed such a touch. His hand was warm and comforting. He looked at me with a kind smile and said, "Leela, you are a very strong person. Please, do not let your father's past destroy your own future." His words were like a soft, warm light in the middle of my dark and confused feelings. For that moment, with his hand in mine, I felt truly safe and calm, a feeling I had not known for a long time. My heart was full of many different emotions. My father was back in my life, bringing with him old hurts and many new questions that needed answers. But Daniel was also there, bringing new feelings of care, understanding, and a growing closeness. It was a very confusing time. I was still trying to understand my father and his reasons, but at the same time, I felt something new and hopeful beginning with Daniel. It was like two very different paths were opening up right in front of me, making my future seem both uncertain and exciting. 7. The real story. My father called me. He asked me to come to his apartment. I felt a strange worry, but I went. When I arrived, he looked very serious. He asked me to sit down. My heart beat fast. I did not know what he wanted to say. He looked older, more tired than before. He looked at me with sad eyes. His voice was quiet. "Leela," he began, "I need to tell you something important." He paused for a long time. The silence in the room was heavy. I waited, my hands cold, my body tense. "I am sick," he finally said. The doctors say I do not have much time left. My body froze completely. I did not move or speak. For so long, I had held onto a strong anger towards him. I had practiced what I would say. But now, that anger quickly changed. It became a deep, cold fear inside me. A powerful feeling of great loss came over me. I could not believe his words. This was the true and sad reason he had come back. This was why he had tried so hard to see me again. He slowly reached out and took my hand. His hand felt weak and thin in mine. "I did not come back to ask for your forgiveness," he said softly, his voice full of sadness. "I know I made many mistakes. I know I hurt you and your mother. I only wanted a chance to say I am truly sorry before I go." His words made my eyes burn with unshed tears. I felt tears begin to form, but I tried to hold them back. My mind was full of too many thoughts, too many new feelings. I was completely overwhelmed by everything he had told me. I stood up quickly. I needed to leave that room. I needed air. I ran out of his apartment without another word. I did not stop running until I reached the quiet park near my home. Tears streamed down my face without control. The news was too big, too painful for me to hold inside my heart alone. I felt utterly alone and very scared. Soon, Daniel found me there. He saw me crying and rushed to my side. He came to me and gently put his arms around me. I fell into his hug, shaking with sadness and shock. "He is dying," I whispered to him, my voice broken. The words were very hard to say out loud. Daniel held me close, offering silent comfort. He did not say anything, but his presence was a great comfort to me. For the first time since hearing the terrible news, I did not feel completely alone in my pain. His strong support helped me to start processing this sad and difficult truth about my father. 8. The last goodbye. The last time I saw my father was in the hospital. The room was small and quiet. Bright lights shone, and machines made soft, steady beeping sounds next to his bed. He looked very weak, much weaker than before. When he saw me, a small smile touched his lips. His voice was a whisper. "Leela," he said, "thank you for coming." I walked closer to the bed. I sat down on a chair beside him. Carefully, I took his hand in mine. It felt thin and cold, not like the strong hand I remembered from when I was a girl of 10 years. It was the same hand I had held that sad day he left. Now I held it again. My heart felt heavy, but I knew I needed to be there. I looked at him, and for the first time I felt a deep sense of peace, not anger. I spoke softly. "You left me once, Father, but I will not leave you now." He closed his eyes slowly, holding my hand gently. His breathing became very quiet, then slower. The beeping sounds from the machines stayed the same for a moment, then changed. A nurse came quickly into the room. She checked him, then looked at me. My father was gone. I felt a sharp pain in my chest, a mix of sadness and a strange kind of relief. The long, difficult journey was over. I stayed there for a few more minutes, just sitting. I looked at his peaceful face. There were no more worries, no more pain for him. I slowly let go of his hand. I stood up and walked to the door. The hospital hallway was busy, but I felt like I was moving in a slow, silent world of my own. I thought about all the years, all the anger, and how it had changed into something different. When I stepped outside the hospital building, the fresh air felt cool on my face. I saw Daniel waiting. He stood there just as he had promised. He looked at me, and his eyes were full of understanding. He did not say anything. He just opened his arms. I walked into his warm embrace, and he held me tight. It was a comfort I deeply needed. In that moment, I knew many things. I had lost my father, yes, and it hurt. But in saying goodbye, I had also found something important inside myself. I found my own strength, a strength I did not know I had. And standing there, safe in Daniel's arms, I felt the start of a new beginning, a future that might hold love and happiness after all the sadness.